Welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year to you all. We've got so much to look forward to in 2025, but first of all, I thought the best way to kick off videos on this channel is to give you some good tips on what not to do with your VR headset. That is both wearing it, but also your device itself to keep it safe and working for many years to come. This is essential advice. Now, this is quite funny because the sponsor I'm now going to tell you about is also my first tip on this video, and that is lens inserts. And VRWave do offer a huge selection of prescription lens inserts, and whether you wear glasses or you don't, it's important to get lens inserts for your VR headsets, especially as you can add blue light filters because it helps combat motion sickness, insomnia, and not to mention it helps protect those really expensive lenses. Now, if you do wear glasses, it's not ideal to wear them in VR, and with VRWave lens inserts you can dial in your prescription, and even if you have issues with astigmatism, nearsightedness or farsightedness, they can cater for all of that. I have a very nice 5% discount code, go check them out right now. So there you have it. Even though VRWave are a sponsor, it is really essential, guys, to make sure that you have lens inserts in your VR headsets, because I've personally scratched lenses before and it just hurts so much, especially because once you've done that, I mean, it's very difficult to be able to repair a lens on a VR headset. So what's my next tip for VR users? Make sure that you don't leave your VR headset to exposed sunlight. It's all too easy that after your VR session, just to put your headset down, and if it's facing your window and your curtains are not drawn, if a bit of sunlight comes in, and even in the UK we do get sun sometimes, if that sun gets onto that lens, you're going to have a really bad day and you'll probably burn your screen. This has happened to my good friend recently, and he's wrecked his Reverb G2. He's now got a really horrible black burnt line in the display just because he left his headset on the desk when he went out and the sun went straight into those lenses and completely burnt the screen. It's an easy mistake to make, so my tip is always face your lenses away from a window, and ideally make sure that it's somewhere safe, perhaps in a case or in a drawer, basically somewhere where it's nice and dark and secure so that you don't have that risk, because again, it's a game over situation. Now, the next tip is really more of a personal opinion thing, but I don't like leaving my VR headsets permanently on. And that's because there's always that risk that the screen could stay on and that could increase the chances of burning. But also, I don't really like my headsets to be left on overnight, unless perhaps it's the Quest 3 and you're charging it, or the Crystal. But overall, I would recommend that your VR headset is connected to a power bank where you can switch it off once you finish using it. You may disagree with that one, but I personally feel it's not worth leaving technology on overnight when it doesn't need to be. Now, obviously, a VR headset lives on your face most of the time when you're using it, which means, please, for the love of God, keep it nice and clean. Perhaps every week or so, just take off the facial interface and give it a very nice clean. Now, be careful when you clean the headset to leave the lenses alone. Unless you've got lens inserts, then you can just give them a wipe. Talking of that, make sure that you use a microfiber cloth and it's a brand new one, because little tiny dust particles and little microscopic pieces of fabric or whatever it could be that you can't see could again scratch your lenses if you give them a wipe. So ideally the best solution is to use lens inserts, and that way you can clean all inside the VR headset and then use a different cloth to wipe the lens inserts and not the lenses themselves. But it really is important to keep your VR headset clean, just because of hygiene purposes, but also if you like to share your VR experiences, just make sure that you're not going to spread any germs around. Now, in terms of being comfortable in VR, obviously make sure that you know your IPD and it's set correctly in the headset, otherwise you will suffer from eye strain. And if you're doing a long session, perhaps after about an hour, just take the headset off and look at something far away in the distance for about 20 seconds. And then you should be able to go back into VR and it will just relax your eyes. Also, as I've mentioned before, I do think blue light filters do help with eye strain, but also feeling tired. And never use VR if you're feeling really run down. It's not good for you, folks. And I've noticed before when I've played a VR game, when I've been feeling tired, it can actually make me feel a bit sick. If you are new to VR, then I would recommend just working up your VR legs, as they call it. So perhaps if you're flying, just do a couple of circuits, keep everything nice and level, and only fly for about 5 to 10 minutes at a time. And over a course of a couple of weeks, just increase that to say 15 minutes, 20 minutes, until you can do a nice half an hour session. Please do not just go straight into a roller coaster or start doing aerobatic maneuvers. Another tip would be to make sure that you stay cool in VR, and if you find that your body is getting really clammy, it's trying to tell you that it's not liking this experience, and please just take a break. Also, make sure you've got plenty of play space around you so you don't hit your very expensive VR headset into a wall. I've done that before, and trust me, it's not fun when you've realised you've damaged your headset. Also, once you've finished with it, make sure that all the leads are tucked away and that it's not, say, on a desk where possibly a dog or, you know, someone could possibly brush the cable and then the headset goes flying. That's something else that's happened to me before. Just make sure it's well out the way once you've used it. So these are just some general tips, and most of this is common sense. If you'd like this to be a series, I can do more of this kind of stuff. But please do let me know in the comments below. What are your tips for VR? How do you keep your headset safe? But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.